Well, you know, we are counting down here. Spring break is just around the corner, and for many, of course, that means heading towards some sun, some warmer weather. But for kids and families that will have a staycation, we found a destination that mixes animals and household objects in a different kind of hands-on way.
Yeah, so even if you are going away, you're going to have to put this on your must-see list. To find out more about how a chameleon changes colors and how a squid actually swims, we sent our grandma on the go and her grandson Case on a biomechanical safari. Take a look.
I'll tell you what, since the time this guy was born 10 years ago, all we've been hearing are questions. How does this work, Grandma? What about that? Why? And so today we came to the Grand Rapids Public Museum to find out some answers in a really cool new exhibit. Why don't you tell us about this place?
Sure. Well, welcome to the Robot Zoo. In this exhibit, we have 8 larger-than-life robotic animals. All of them move, and some you can manipulate, which is really fun. And they're all made out of some common household items, like this grasshopper behind us here. You'll see some big springs, some Christmas lights. Some of them have vacuum cleaners, some of them have microphones, TV screens, and so a lot of recognizable parts and pieces showing how real animals work.
It's a real robot zoo.
It really is.
So tell us what the idea is behind it, not just so they can see cool stuff, but really learn key principles.
This exhibit is all about learning the anatomy and physiology of animals, the biology, through the biomechanics of complex robot animals.
What I really love is that it sparks kids' curiosity. I just see Case looking at things constantly. He was just hanging from a bar a minute ago to try to act like a bat.
This exhibit is very hands-on, and the hands-on aspect really encourages that learning. There are over 20 interactives in the exhibit that really give people a chance to, you know, I see how this robot's working, and now I can test it out for myself.
Cool. Why don't you give us 2 unique examples?
Sure. My favorite here is the chameleon. I love how you're able to make it move. I love how you're able to make its tongue jump out and catch its food, but my favorite part are the chameleon's eyes. They are completely separate, move separate from one another, and send different signals to the brain. Each one has a different camera in it, so you can move it around and point at your family and friends in the exhibit and see yourself up on a screen.
That sounds great. Time to get hands-on. Let's let Case play.
Perfect.
Look, like the blood is pumping in and out. This is like the muscles of the real animal, like the legs of the grasshopper.
Look at this. The bellows for breathing and propulsion. What do we call those in us? What do you call what you breathe with?
Lungs.
That's right. What's he doing with his hands?
Ants. I just don't have ants.
What are those?
Those are ears.
Checking in with Christy now. You have another favorite right inside this exhibit.
Yeah, so my favorite is actually the housefly, which most people would think, why would that be? But he's really fun to look at, as well as he has a lot of interesting parts. The vacuum cleaner for the snout really shows kids a household product and how it's used in an animal. And so we all know how a vacuum cleaner works, right?
Right.
And so looking at it, you can now see how a fly would suck up through the vacuum, his snout, and be able to eat his food, like the piece of cheese he's on here.
That is crazy interesting. Kids are going to love that.
Yes, and it's so familiar and it's so easy to understand that it's great for all kids.
Absolutely. What's your second favorite?
My second favorite here is the platypus. One of those things, you know, we know what a platypus is, but how much do we really know about them?
Look really weird, like a duck or foot with claws.
How do you think those work?
I don't know.
It's a mammal, but it lays eggs. And our platypus is so cute. He has a little snorkel because he's underwater, and they actually can't breathe underwater.
Who knew I would love flies and platypuses? But there must be more that you really want people to see inside.
There's so much more here, and the giant squid is another here. You can play a jet-propelled game and race like in a carnival. You're gonna swim like a squid in a game and you're going to pump it like they move through the ocean. And so one of those games, you're learning what you're doing as well as having fun with your family.
That's wild. What do you see in kids' faces when they step inside this exhibit?
It's absolutely excited, but it's so much, I don't know what to do first. It's been great having it here and a great place for kids to come on spring break this year or all summer vacation and have a lot of fun while still learning.
And I know you're talking about kids of all ages.
Absolutely. As young as 2 or 3 years old have had so much fun, but there is something for everyone. So even as you get older, adults are learning so much in here.
Sounds like a terrific spot then for a Grandma on the Go. We hope to see you here right at the Grand Rapids Public Museum and the Robot Zoo.
We have Kate Moore with us now from the Grand Rapids Public Museum, and you're gearing up for a lot of spring break fun, which is great because it sounds like even though young people, students will be off for a week, there's a lot of learning that could happen at the Robot Zoo.
There really is. The Robot Zoo, I think, is one of the perfect destinations coming to the Grand Rapids Public Museum for any kind of a staycation spring break. The exhibit itself is all about robotic animals and biology marrying science, really, in this. And these robotic animals, they move, and there's a lot of learning that can happen as part of this. There's 20 hands-on interactives, and you know, it's really fun to see families go in there. They walk into the exhibit and they just scatter because there really is so much.
Yeah, there's so much that you have planned in programming that's attached to it outside of the exhibition. Of course, we're seeing some great video of your mummy here, and then we saw the carousel a minute ago. But there are activities that really support the exhibits that you showcase at the museum. What are some of those?
For sure. So Robot Zoo really is our headliner right now, but the museum has 3 floors of engaging and interactive exhibits all the time, and we bring out a lot of extra stuff during spring break. So for families that come, we have activities that will happen on the first floor of the museum. These are free with admission when you come in, and we have Construct a Robot this year. We'll have different kinds of games and hands-on, all themed around what the museum has to offer. A lot of folks like to come and take a ride on the carousel or see a planetarium show. So we're going to have extra planetarium shows happening throughout spring break, including one that we just opened called Starlight Safari, which is all, again, themed around animals in the Robot Zoo.
Yeah.
It's all about animal constellations.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about that show is that it's run by a planetarium presenter, and depending on what kind of questions the audience asks, we can tailor that show to what the audience is most interested in.
So they'll be learning about the stars and really being able to have those areas pointed out. You're going to be staying open late too and adding some fun stuff outside the museum.
For sure. So we're going to be open late Monday through Friday during spring break until 8 p.m. for folks who may have to be at work or doing something else during the day, have a chance to come down to the museum after that. And then we're also partnering with the Grand Rapids Amateur Astronomical Association to have telescopes on the front lawn of the museum. We will have folks there to help people see Jupiter, which is visible in the night sky. This will happen right around 8:30 p.m. when it starts to get dark, weather permitting, and you can check our website for all of the information about that. But a really good chance to come out and do something unique.
Okay, so I have to ask you about participating in these activities. Do they cost any extra to go and take part with all this extra fun stuff you have planned for next week?
Of course. Well, actually, the viewing on the front lawn is free of charge, and all the extra activities and everything are included with admission. We do have a special ticket for the Robot Zoo. It's very affordable, and it's free to members. And you can purchase your tickets online. Sometimes during spring break, there becomes a little bit of a line at the museum. Purchase your tickets online, and you can skip that line.
That's really fun. And I know that you have this up. You know, the timing is great because this just opened, the Robot Zoo, but you're going to be keeping it up through September because we know, similar to spring break, we've got summer break coming ahead.
Summer break coming. We do have a summer camp planned around the Robot Zoo, which is a lot of fun. I think the exhibit really lends itself well to studying both biology and STEM learning with all the mechanics and robotics that are included as part of it.
Well, good. Kate, thank you for stopping by and
Thank
reminding
you.
us of the fascinating things at the Grand Rapids Public Museum.
Thank you.
We'll put all the information online so you can find it and make your plans for next week. So stay right there. We have a lot more 8 West. It's all just ahead.
Your all-access pass to everything West Michigan.